You're listening to Cattywampus.
All right, we're back with Dragon Ball Daima, part 2 of 4, because this is 20 episodes, right? That's what we've realized about this.
Yep.
Don't sound too excited, Brian. We've got to save that energy for the back half of this. We are at the halfway mark. I love that Brian hates this.
Yeah, I know. That's.
I wish it was a movie.
You know what it is, Brian?
I'm so bored
You know
with
what it
this.
is, Brian? I love that your desire to cover this franchise and my final go, my final weird devil's bargain, like I'm the devil, like who showed up to you and went, oh, we'll cover Dragon Ball and we'll do it in a way that makes you hate the franchise.
We're going to watch all the things that you don't like about the franchise.
Meanwhile,
So
I'm
this
having a
episode-
blast. I love this shit.
I'm having a good time, Steve. I'm right there with you.
It's so strange to me because a lot of people feel this way about Super, but I've like really enjoyed Super. So
Yeah,
maybe I'm
Super's
just,
all right.
Steve,
I don't know. Maybe there's just
Steve-
two different kinds of people.
Steve and I are totally on board, and Brian is slowly realizing that maybe he's the one guy who thought Rise of Skywalker was good.
No, never.
No, I mean, I think that's where you are with Dragon Ball.
Maybe.
So we're covering episode 6 through 10 of 20, so we are about to hit the halfway mark of this show. I'm going to hand it off. Steve, do you want to cover 6?
Sure.
And we will talk about it.
All right.
Again, we're just reading from the Wikipedia, guys, because we didn't have time to take notes because this is new and it's subtitled and we're doing this as it's coming out. So just going straight from the Wikipedia.
All right, so episode 6, Lightning. Pansy admits that the ship engine did quit because her luggage exceeded the weight limit. As she repairs the engine, Goku ducks behind a bush to take a shit. The Gender Mary members who seek revenge on Goku come looking
Straight from the
for him.
Wikipedia. No editorializing.
Nope. Gender Mary members who seek revenge on Goku come looking for him, but the others convince him that he's not there and they take their leave. The engines finally repair and they take off after leaving some of their luggage behind. Shin explains that the Gesu and Aranasu are his siblings who stayed in the demon realm due to their ambitions. When they make camp in Sleet, Glorio secretly contacts Dr. Aransu, who he's working for. A Minotaur then attacks the group intending to eat them. Glorio and Goku get into an argument over who is going to fight it, effectively ignoring the Minotaur. Glorio is capable of matching Goku's strength using magic and electrical attacks. Ultimately, he surrenders, however, once Goku goes Super Saiyan and just rocks his shit. Frightened by Goku's power, the Minotaur leaves. Meanwhile, Bulma finishes repairing Shin's ship. Piccolo, Vegeta, and Kibito attempt to go to the Demon Realm, but the ship powers down mid-flight and crashes after takeoff.
Please.
Episode
Mrs.
6.
Aransu is my mother. Call me Dr. Aransu. I love that this person's a doctor. Did we know she was a doctor in the first 5 episodes?
She was science-y from the very beginning. I just assumed she had a doctorate in something.
Sciencey, yeah.
I was like,
sciencey.
doctor or a mad scientist?
I mean, I guess a mad scientist is often a doctor, or at the very least a
Yeah.
professor. I also really liked the demon soldiers show up, and they ask if they've seen a kid with spiky hair in this universe.
Right.
Every single kid has
It's
spiky
like
hair.
it's like me asking if someone with have you seen someone with a smartphone? It's like, yeah, that's not everyone, but like it doesn't help.
It was okay.
Just like all the ones that preceded it, it very high shades of Dragon Ball. With even the one fight that they get into being one of those, well, who's going to kick his ass? I'm going to kick his ass. No, I'm going to kick his ass.
I like the Glorio potential betrayal.
I also point out we got back to that weird child blackface demon character, and it was even more terrifying as a child. Every time it shows up, it's getting scarier to me.
Mr. Popo's a treasure.
Mr. Popo. I'm never gonna remember his name. It's not so. Sometimes I'm joking and I remember their name, but I'm giving them a fun name. I cannot remember this guy's name. Every time I see him, it's like a distracting thing where I'm like, wait, who is this? What's happening? Oh, I also like there's a reference where Goku doesn't shower, but he's got his adult mind. Does that mean adult Goku doesn't shower?
That would not surprise me in the slightest.
No,
That's-
he's too busy training and fighting.
That's great. He never learned to bathe.
No, he learned how to bathe. He just doesn't.
That's
It's
true. At
weird
least
to
he
me
knows
that
what it
we're-
is.
It's weird to me that we're going. Yes, he's an adult, but as a child, he's still going back to like, I don't know. The potty humor is just, it's strange.
It reared its ugly head this block of episodes in a way it didn't so much in episodes 1 through 5.
So far, we haven't. I guess it started with Roshi being a little bit of a menace, but
A little bit, but it was still like compared to the other parts of the show,
pretty
not as
tame.
bad. But it's got a little crazy this block. Oh, also, I like that the coward Minotaur just lets them train to figure out how to defeat him. Yeah, I'll allow it. Like, just watches Glorio and Goku figure out how Goku could figure out how to go Saiyan and be like, anyway, so I can kill you now. And the Minotaur's like, fuck.
is this the one where they smell or I can't remember which character it is, but it smells Goku to make sure the smell isn't him and it's the Minotaur?
I think so, and that's where the shower comment comes from,
yeah.
right? I think so, yeah. Brian, you want to take 7? Episode 7, Collar.
All right, episode 7, Collar. Collar.
Not a color.
Color. Bulma realizes the ship is out of fuel, only found in the demon realm. Lamenting their lack of options, Hebis suddenly arrives and takes Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma to the demon realm, while Kibito stays to look after the lookout. The Gendamari detain Goku's group, and Pansy suspects they've tracked her collar, which all the Third World citizens must wear. Goku uses instant transmission to avoid detection, but a guard suspects that Pansy is the initial tax disruptor. What? Forcing the group to fight and defeat the Gendamari. This is a weird summary.
I mean, it's accurate.
Yeah, it's
but
accurate.
You're like, wait.
It's
Yeah.
weirdly paced.
It's accurate, but it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's
They're-
accurate in a way that reveals how weird the show is. Where you're
Yeah.
like, wait, I'm sorry, wait. Was the show about tax disruption? Yeah, it kind of was.
It was.
Which is weird.
Strange. Their ship is damaged in the fight, so they steal the Gendamari ship to blend in. Shin deduces Pansy's collar was designed by Dr. Aransu and destroys it, freeing her, and reveals his birth name is Nahara. King Kadon instructs Hibis to bring his new guests over to Goku's group, just as they arrive at the Tamagami encampment. One of the locals and Pansy try to dissuade Goku from fighting it, saying every challenger has lost, but he challenges it anyway to earn its Dragon Ball. I do think this was my favorite episode out of the 10.
Really? Why?
I liked the, I guess, back and forth on the ship, and just him like using instant transmission to like hide and bounce away, and just the goofiness of him like popping up behind them and then sneaking into the bushes. And I also liked his little fight with I guess the next episode is when he fights Tamagami.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all kind of blending together for me. So maybe it was the next episode I liked.
This had my favorite line, which was dialogue exchange, which is, upon seeing Goku eating 2 meals, Pansy goes, "How did you raise a kid?" And Goku says,
I didn't.
"I wasn't really involved." And Pansy goes, "Figures."
At least he owns it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pansy's my spirit animal. At this point, Pansy is the audience. Pansy is me. Be like, what the fuck is with this guy? There's also that moment where Pansy asks why Goku is... Basically, she goes, why is Goku like this? And Shin is basically like, he's built different. Like, like, yeah, we just accept it. He's just an idiot. Don't worry about it.
He's cool. Just give him a chance.
I was going to say, they basically just put up with him because he saves everybody all the time.
That's true. That's very true. It's one of those things where I was thinking about it because of the last like 5 and this, and it kind of dawned on me where it's like the demon age cycle where it's like it kind of reminds me of like baby Yoda, like Grogu, where it's like I understand that it makes sense if a creature is 1,000 years old that their life stages may be relatively expanded. But it really takes away from the gravity of a story because ultimately they might as well just be human lifespans because you effectively meet them at their age anyway. Like meaning like Grogu is a good example. Like Grogu means that Yoda isn't any wiser at 900 years old than Obi-Wan was at whatever age he was when we met him.
Right.
Because like yeah, like if he was a baby for 70 years, then that doesn't mean he's any wiser at 900. And I think we kind of run into this issue with Dragon Ball where people are like, I live forever. And then you are like, well, you're a kid. And it's like, and the demons like don't seem to age in a way. Like you think a 12-year-old will be wiser. I don't know. It feels like needless homework lore. It feels like the lore is needless homework that's not actually helping or affecting or changing the story. I'm still trying to kind of like get a handle on it. And it sounds like from what you guys are telling me, this is all kind of new lore information for them. This isn't like something we've been living with.
No, it's all pretty much all new. I think everything in all of these episodes, except for the few little bits with like Vegeta and Piccolo, everything else is pretty much brand new.
To be fair, Goku being an idiot, classic Goku. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
That's old school classic Goku right there. 100% homegrown Goku. Doesn't understand how to bathe or raise a child or where to shit.
Or wash his hands after he shits.
Do anything functional.
Yeah, episode 8, Tamagami. The crowd watches in stunned amazement as Goku and the Tamagami battle, evenly matched. Goku uses Super Saiyan and breaks the Tamagami's Warhammer. After landing a Kamehameha and a strike as Super Saiyan 2, the Tamagami surrenders. He was specifically Super Saiyan 2 at that point? Interesting. But says he has to earn his Dragon Ball.
Controversy.
I'm assuming that's what like the extra power up was that he did.
Maybe that's what they're.
Tell the difference.
Yeah, I don't know how they were calling that, but Goku must earn the Dragon Ball through a shell game. Goku notices the Tamagami throws the Dragon Ball away instead of putting it in the cup, winning the challenge. As the crowd celebrates, Glorio contacts Dr. Aransu and tells her what happened. Goku's group then starts traveling to the second world. Elsewhere, Goma and Dagesu review footage of Vegeta's final atonement explosion, is that the Japanese name of that? Against Majin Buu, and notice that Aransu is in the background collecting some of Buu's regenerative tissue. Aransu visits Marba, the witch who created Buu, who's working on a new creature using Buu's residue as the ingredient. Aransu adds her saliva to make the creature loyal and reveals her plan to overthrow Goma and rule the demon realm, with Goku's collection of the Dragon Balls as her plan B. Kaden contacts Hybis, Bulma, Vegeta, and Piccolo to tell them of Goku's achievement and to meet up at Warp Sama.
First quick question about the way he defeated Majin Buu in the video. You seemed confused about what happened in your guys' estimation when he defeated Majin Buu.
I was just confused by the name of the attack.
Gotcha. What was it as you know it?
In English, wasn't it just like a full power Final Flash?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just called Final Flash.
Gotcha.
But also, yelling Final Atonement Explosion.
Yeah, sounds awful.
Well, I would say that sounds awful.
I was going to say sounds better to me.
Until you watch My Hero Academia and you're like, what is the All Might's move that he uses all the time?
Oh, you talking about the United States of Smash bullshit that he did against All for One? Yeah, that was awful too.
I think
having to yell that is hilarious.
I think if you're going to have to yell something, I think yelling words is stupid. We can all agree on yelling words is stupid. So if you're going to do it, make it even stupider. Like if you're going to
just lean into how absurd it already is.
So to me, if you have a choice between yelling Final Flash and Final what atonement?
Final Atonement Explosion.
Final Atonement Explosion? Final Atonement Explosion is what you go with. Like if you're going to do it. So I'm down with that. Otherwise,
they change almost all the
English
names for all the Dragon Ball attacks. If you play it like Mostly I've played the games in Japanese, and the difference is a little weird sometimes.
Is this your first time watching something Dragon Ball for the first time in Japanese?
Maybe?
Not for me. I actually watched Super as it aired. So,
Gotcha. Yeah. That's
so
what
I
thought, yeah.
so I caught all of that in Japanese. That's one of the main reasons why the voice acting doesn't. Goku's voice doesn't bother me because his voice is exactly the same as an adult too. It's very strange.
I will say I've warmed up to when I watched these 5, didn't even occur to me that it was you're like totally used to it.
Yeah.
Very quickly I was like, okay, yeah, this is great, this is fine, it's Goku. Like totally
I
clicked with
think
it.
maybe I can't remember. Are the American episodes out yet on Netflix?
I haven't seen.
on
Are they?
Crunchyroll?
No, I don't think they're on Crunchyroll, but I think Netflix might have exclusive rights to that. I could be wrong, but I looked like 2 or 3 weeks ago and they still weren't out. But I do wonder if I would like this more in English, even though I generally prefer anime and Japanese. It just depends.
The English
Dragon
dub
Balls.
of Dragon Ball Daima will be released to Crunchyroll on January 10th.
Gotcha.
Just up to date what they have so far, since that will not be when it finishes.
I don't know. I can't say for certain. Yeah, I can't tell if it's just the first episode or if it's episode 1 through 3.
We're doing it live.
No, it is not in English.
Okay. I didn't think so because
Nope.
I looked. I check like every couple weeks to see if maybe it's changed, but yeah, it's.
Are you guys watching on Netflix?
No,
No,
I've been
Crunchyroll.
watching on Crunchyroll.
I don't want to weigh into the dubs versus sub argument. I think it's
It just depends on. It
However
depends
you
on
wanna
what
watch it.
is. I had that issue with I think it was My Hero Academia, where I watched it was either that or Demon Slayer, where I watched the first few seasons in English, and then once I watched it in Japanese, I didn't feel like as connected to it. I think just because it was weird switching.
right.
I typically prefer to pick one. and
Yeah,
stick with
however
that.
you start a series is typically what
That makes sense.
you're going to identify with.
And I think that might be my issue with Dragon Ball. Like I think because I've seen almost all of it in English, seeing it in Japanese, it's just a weird disconnect.
And since I'm like newer to it, like switching at this point has been less, it was a little bit of a learning curve, but also like my learning curve was like, well, I also don't know who half these people are. So I was kind of like, well, whatever. Like I just kind of wrapped it all up in one. Let's go back to, before I even get to my notes on this episode, tell me about Super Saiyan levels and why this line in this description is ringing false to you fans.
Well, it doesn't necessarily ring false. It's just more of a how did you tell the difference? Because it didn't look any different to me.
Yes, how do we tell the difference?
So I remember there being a somewhat distinct difference in Z, where their hair got slightly
Walk me through
bigger.
it.
I'm trying to remember if there was any other difference other
It
than
was
the hair
it was
maybe glowing
harder.
different.
Somebody look up a chart and tell me walk me through it. What's Super Saiyan 1?
Let's see. Obviously, the physical difference between Super Saiyan 1 through 3 and onwards is pretty clear. But from Super Saiyan 1 to 2, I'm admittedly a little fuzzy. So let's see.
Is this a Reddit post?
Yeah,
I don't know. This is canonical. I don't think this is canon. Reddit?
So-
I don't know, guys.
someone is saying basically in the manga,
Okay.
Super Saiyan 2 had an electricity in their aura versus 1 which did not. Whereas
God
in
damn
the
it! I should have
show,
said electric boogaloo seconds ago, and I didn't. But continue.
whereas in the show, I guess there's always some form of like electrical force around them.
And that's the difference between 1 versus 2.
It sounds like more or less there's
Okay.
some slight lightning added, and maybe their hair might glow a little differently. Some of them
Okay.
also get some bangs.
Yeah, Gohan
You
gets
gotta get back.
he gets that one almost like Superman-esque spit curl that comes out.
Yeah, it's definitely more or less it's lightning, more hair sometimes, and
Okay.
the hair is slightly discolored compared to regular. But then after that, it's pretty obvious. Super Saiyan 3, which you have
But
not
of course,
seen
go
yet.
on. It's so obvious.
Goku's hair is like down to his feet, and his eyebrows are gone. It's very,
I'm sorry,
very
what?
strange. Look at a picture of it.
Put it in the chat.
Hold on. I'm hoping that
Why
baby
does this-
Goku
I love that the
goes-
Monkey Man gets hairless as he goes Super Saiyan.
I'm really hoping that we get a Super Saiyan 3 in this because he had just kind of gotten Super Saiyan 3 before in this timeline.
Do we think the argument is that he went 2 because there was lightning?
No, I
this
think the
show?
argument is that just the Tamagami pushed him harder. It was a harder fight than he anticipated. He just needed more power. That was all there was to it.
For the audience, I do see a browless man
Hold on. Super Saiyan 1 Goku.
with a kind of lion-esque mane that kind of goes thigh high. Okay, and that's level 2.
That is level 1, apparently.
Okay,
that is so.
I can't tell, but I'm going to assume he has eyebrows.
So level Super Saiyan 1, it's slightly light. It's more of like a pastel yellow.
Is this also 1 that I'm looking
This is
at?
2. So
Wait.
the electricity behind him is lightning. This is after he fights Frieza.
In the one picture, there's also lightning.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
but
In the
you see
first
how
picture-
one's foreground and one's background.
I know it's very similar. But Super Saiyan 2, he has a few more bangs and his hair is slightly darker. And also
That's like saying, no, Thor didn't bring down the lightning. He was just in a lightning storm. Can't you tell, Marvel audience?
and then Super Saiyan 4, which is not canon.
I'm sorry, what?
Is not canon because it was only in GT, but that's what that
Okay.
looks like.
Oh, he goes the other. Well, at least he gets his tail back, and
He's basically half monkey.
yeah, he's like a wide boy now. He's super wide. Okay, and some
Here
of
you go.
his arm muscles are bigger than his chest. Okay,
Here's a proper infographic of all of the Gokus.
okay.
Oh yeah, there's
Okay,
a
so
good
I'm looking at
cross section of Goku through the years.
Kid,
So that is
teen,
every form.
adult, and then Saiyan 1, Saiyan 2, Saiyan 3. The black-haired one is non-canon Saiyan 4, and then Saiyan
it's
5?
No, the black-haired one is Goku and Super, I believe.
Okay, so...
And then it's just him as Super Saiyan in Super. And then it's God form and Super Saiyan Blue.
Okay. And we think he's 2 in this. So the Wikipedia said he's 2 in this. 2 looks like he doesn't have eyebrows either, though.
No, he does.
They're just small.
They
yeah.
j-
The only form that's not on here is Ultra Instinct, which is...
Ultra and distinct?
Ultra Instinct.
No, Ultra Instinct.
Ultra instinct.
His
Go
hair
on.
turns silver. They got real into the colors in Super. I think because of this argument we're having right now.
Are we having an argument? I'm literally...
Not argument. This explanation of hair choices that we're having.
I don't think I've posed a point yet. I'm still trying to wrap my head around.
But there are many
I don't know that
forms.
I've presented a point of view. I don't know that I could. I still can't. I don't even know what to say. Okay. Okay. So,
But all of it is just to sell toys.
I mean, fair enough. So
Yeah,
so
I
we-
mean, same with that new Dragon Ball game that we were talking about. Goku in the new, what is it, Raging Blast?
You mean Sparking Zero?
Sparking Zero, sorry. Sparking Zero. Goku is in there 36 times or something like that.
Raging Blast, Sparking Zero, Forward onto Dawn. It doesn't matter.
But anyway, apparently he is Super Saiyan 2 when he's...
Do you guys agree with that assessment from the Wikipedia? Based on this
Sure. It's as
Yeah, I guess.
Steve's like, whatever gets me home early.
Yeah, well, I mean, it. I guess I'd have to watch it again. It just didn't appear to me to be any different, but I really wasn't paying attention for that. So
It didn't feel very significant, but is this the moment where he like powers up and then pushes the hammer
Yeah,
away?
probably.
Is that what we're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah. I guess. Sure.
The only notes I had for this episode were I really like that the robot demon is just like, I'll just 3-card Monty this guy. Like, and that Goku recognizes it's a scam, and that the robot is like, good for you. It is a
You
scam.
figured
Good
it
luck.
out. Take the Dragon Ball. Bye.
Also, Mixie, I'm gonna call him Mixie. Mixie Spillick. I don't remember his actual name. The for real though. The
Goma.
Goma, thank you. I like that he has real like obsessed with Resident Evil tall wife energy with Marba, because she's making like this Gola out of Majin Buu, I take it. So she's like making like a Majin Buu Gola. Like she's like, I'm gonna like remake this guy. And Mixie's basically like, you're so fucking tall. He's just like, he has real like Invader Zim, like tall. You're so tall and strong. It's a level of sexual politics in my children's cartoons I'm less offended by than some of the other choices the show makes, because it's less overt.
Mommy complexes don't bother me in my children's cartoons.
I just think I mean, well,
I mean,
well, you know, tall wife. Y'all don't want a tall wife? Was that not what? I didn't make that up, right? There was like a whole internet craze about the tall woman.
yeah, Lady Demetresque.
Yeah, Resident Evil 8.
Oh, so you all know her name. So maybe I'm not the obsessed one.
7? 8?
Jacques.
It was 8, yeah, because it was Village.
Yeah.
Because they had that whole Roman numeral thing.
Steve's like, this is her name. This is the one she's in. I'm not obsessed. You are.
I've
Nick.
never even played it.
That makes it worse, Steve. That means you know her name. And you know where she's from.
Nope, it just means I have a memory for really dumb shit.
Yeah, dumb.
I think the best part
Wink.
about that is that
Wink.
she is the most popular thing about that game, and she's dead in the first like hour.
Yep.
I didn't even get to her. I started the game. I didn't even get to her.
I've played, I think, every Resident Evil game at least 3 to 5 times.
The next time you
But-
make fun of me for rewatching Highlander, I want you to remember this moment.
I don't think I'll think about Highlander ever, but I'll try to remember.
I'll think about Highlander far before I'll ever think about Resident Evil 5.
Brian, you think your Dragon Ball rewatch is a nightmare? Wait till I make us go through Highlander. In anticipation of the Henry Cavill film that will definitely happen.
I mean,
I feel like he's attached to 500 projects, and none
Yep.
of them are ever happening.
Yep.
All right, David, you got episode 9?
no.
No,
back on
because it's
track.
back.
Actually, you do.
No, you do. Nice try, Brian.
Episode 9, Thieves. Goku's group stays in a hotel, but 2 thieves steal the Dragon Ball. Pansy put a tracking device in the bag, allowing Goku and Glorio to find and defeat the thieves. Kadan calls Pansy to inform them that Hibis's group will meet them at the Warp Lord. At a restaurant, Vegeta beats up some thugs, but they retaliate by stealing Hibis's ship, causing Hibis to ask Pansy for a pickup. At their castle, Goma and Degetsu learn that Goku and his friends are in the Demon Realm and are shocked that they already have 1 Dragon Ball. Goku and his group meet up with his friends and Hibis, but realize the ship cannot fit all of them, causing Pansy to call Kadan to provide another ship before Goku leaves. I'm sorry, Goku's group leaves. The thugs attack again, seeking revenge, but Vegeta and Piccolo defeat them and make them give back Hibis's ship. Elsewhere, Marba completes her new creature, Majin Ku, to test its strength. Eren Su commands Ku to defeat the First World Tamagami and Tamagotchi and take its Dragon Ball, which it moves to obey.
Tamago, a slightly cooked egg.
Steve, what does Majin Ku look like?
It looks like it's a
Is it a
Cyberman.
Cy- That's what I was gonna. I was like, it looks like a Cyberman to
What's
me.
a Cyberman?
It's
I
from,
assume you don't mean the Cybermen from Doctor
No.
Who?
Cybermen are literally, they're little creatures that you grow from seeds, and that's about it.
I don't like that.
Because in the previous
I don't
episode
like
where they make Majin Ku, they even say they use a Cyberman seed to make him.
Okay. I was like, it looks like a Cyberman. I missed that part.
No, thank you. Do not care for this man. Oh,
Not my favorite.
Yeah, I'm
villain.
not really sure what the point of Majin Ku is. Majin Ku's kind of kind of ass.
I agree with.
Okay, so one of the notes I do have is I think it's coming from the next episode because we get to see what he does, and I wrote like, I know very little of Majin Buu, the origin, like the genetic material this comes from, but I do find it hilarious that his clone sucks. Like, he says he can't fight, but he is a good singer, but I don't believe him. Like, I thought that was amazing. Also, I really liked in this episode, going back to episode 9, I like that Pansy's like, if we have Goku wear this bear hat, no one will recognize him, and she just puts this... No one will know him. It'll be fine. And she goes, it'll be fine. Like, that's the actual title.
Yeah, it's just like, we can stay in a hotel. It'll be fine.
Also,
but you did get your first Goku outfit watch.
I know. Yes. And then also, like, going back to my loves here, which is more bar fights with animal people. Like, Dragon Ball is at its best when it's just the fucking Star Wars Cantina scene with fights. Like, I really do believe that.
I mean, the Vegeta bar fight was good.
Yeah, I wish there was.
And
more
they
of
had a
that.
bar fight. Goku and all of them had a bar fight. Like, everybody had a bar fight. It was great. With a werewolf guy who's also a transformer of some kind. I don't understand that, but whatever. I don't care. I suppose if I knew some more about Goku's friends, like Vegeta and everybody, I would be a little bit more like attached. I don't yet. Like, I know vaguely who they are, but I'm like, I'm not really feeling this part of it. But I think if you've spent the time to have the attachment with them, this probably means something.
Not really. The show's not really giving.
Yeah,
them
they
anything.
haven't.
They're kind of just tagging
Right,
along.
that's kind of what I thought was so funny about the whole, okay, we're coming here to pick you up. Psych, we're just talking for like 5 seconds, and now you can go back to being side characters. Bye.
I don't know why they're in this.
It was a little... It was weird how rude Goku was. He was just kind of like, anyway, we got shit to do, bye.
I like that.
That doesn't normally... I don't know. I feel like that's not normally something he would
I feel
do.
like that's exactly something he would do where Vegeta's concerned.
You know what it is? It feels like it's weird to see Goku mission-oriented. Like,
He just wants to go beat up more robots. That's literally all it is he just wants to get to the next Tamagami to fight it. Like,
a pterodactyl man won't do. I need to fight this demon robot.
That... Maybe not that specifically, but like every other... I would say for the last 20 years, I feel like Goku's only goal has been to train and to fight. So it is weird to see him want to do something else. Even though this is technically just...
Surely he didn't lose his will to eat in those times.
It isn't as prominent as it is in this show. In this show, it's almost ridiculous how often he's eating.
Well, that's because he's a kid. He's going back to his Dragon Ball.
yeah, I was about to say, in Dragon Ball, he eats all the fucking time.
He doesn't have his appetite. He doesn't have his appetite in Z.
He does. It's just not... It isn't every single episode like it is now. Or like 3 times per episode.
I mean, at the
Brian,
very
make me
beginning
afraid
of
that
Dragon
I'm gonna
Ball
lose.
Z, it's still pretty prominently there. Like, motherfuckers running on Snake Way, it was just like, man, I need to eat something right now. I'm going to eat a fucking cloud.
That's the only thing I remember about my one-time season 1 watch of Dragon Ball in college. Dragon Ball Z in college. Him on a rainbow, dragon back, being like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, is this a show? All right. Steve, you want to take episode 10?
Ocean. Ku challenges the first world Tamagami for its Dragon Ball, but it's shown to be no match and forfeits. Disappointing Aransu. Elsewhere, Goku's group goes through Warp Sama to the second world, where they are immediately attacked by the Gendarmerie. Goku swiftly defeats them, which I really enjoyed because it harkened back to him beating Red Ribbon guys and their ships. It was great.
100%.
Goku swiftly defeats them, but an underwater beast called the Kraken drags their ship into the water. The Pansy is able to save their Dragon Ball just in time. Goma and Dagesu watch on a monitor and are shocked by Goku's power, ordering all Gendarmerie to regroup in the first world. Hybis, Bulma, Vegeta, and Piccolo arrive in the second world, where Goku warns them of the Kraken before they all meet at Namek's original homeworld. Shin tells the group about the Namek's situation, his past, and how multiple universes were created by the Majin and the Raimus. The establishment of Supreme Kais and the former Supreme King Abura, Dabura's tyrannical predecessor, forced Shin species, the Glind, to flee the demon realm. Jesus, that's a fucking sentence.
Yeah, I'm like, boy, I got so many questions.
He also reveals that the 5 trees the Glind are born from have died, so they can no longer reproduce. As they prepare to leave, they are approached by Neva.
So, is this a retcon that the Nemeks are from this world, from this universe?
Oh yeah, that's been a well, we've always. It's both a retcon and not a retcon.
Is it new to
it's
this
new
show?
to this. It's all new information because originally King Piccolo is a demon. Then at the very end of Dragon Ball, they're like, psych, he's an alien. They're just retconning it back now to going, JK, he always was a demon.
Is it just fair to say that demon is like an interchangeable word for interdimensional being in this
Something
universe?
like that.
Versus alien in our universe with our galaxies, there's aliens, and then there's another dimensional world, we call them demons.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was like, I was like, wait, because that old man Namek, I'm like, what is this guy's deal? I just don't understand who this guy is.
Yeah, I'm really
what's going
confused why the senile old Namek is back and approaching their ship.
Also, Vegeta, Goku, and Hibis's discussion about adults and breasts, and I'm like, classic Dragon Ball. We're back to where
We made it.
It's weird, and I don't like it.
It had to be somewhere.
Why? I really thought because Roshi got left behind, we didn't have to do it.
So I think my overall problem so far is that we're 10 episodes in, and I don't feel like we've done anything.
Kind of generally agree with, I'm not quite sure where this is going. Other than, I guess he's going to get 3 Dragon Balls and undo
I'm just kind of bored, and I don't, I'm not kind of bored. I'm extremely bored. I don't know why we're here. I don't know what the point of any of this is. And I just don't love it. I was kind of hoping this would be a like more invigorating new energy to the series, given it, I don't know. I thought it was going to maybe be more exciting than this, and I like we've been talking about, I'm not loving Dragon Ball. It is okay. There's certain parts that I like. I think I just like certain aspects of Dragon Ball Z. I think if I didn't grow up with it, if I watched Dragon Ball Z, I probably wouldn't like it.
Maybe you're like a Star Wars prequel fan who's like, I don't get these old movies.
No. I mean, but maybe. No, I see what you're saying. But no, I see what you're saying.
That would break my brain.
But the Dragon Ball that I like is, I like it when it's more serious. I do like the goofy moments. I do like that about it. But I also like when there's world-ending threats. I like when they could actually die. I like when characters do die. And I like when they face enemies that are more of a threat, and it's less of a goofy adventure or a lighthearted, wander through the demon realm. I need it to have more.
I do think that this series, like the weakness that I've really like so far, we're halfway through. If I have to identify a weakness, is I know it's to your point, Brian, played for laughs, and I think it's an issue with the villain, which is I kind of don't know what his plan is, and I think part of it is the joke is he doesn't have a good plan. He's like, I don't know, make him kids. Like, I don't know, what if there was an army that could go after him? I don't know, what if there was a Kraken? Like, and I'm like, okay, well, if there's no like stakes, like one of the things I really liked about us coming out of the Red Ribbon Army saga is it was still like a show for kids, but the Red Ribbon Army actually felt like a legitimate villain. Like they weren't totally played for laughs. They in terms of like family entertainment or kids entertainment, like they had a set of goals that felt like real goals and that were like sustainably like threatening. And there was some humor there, obviously, but they didn't feel as like incompetent as a oh my god, what was the name of the
Pilaf.
first season villain? Thank you, Pilaf. Yeah, like it wasn't like they weren't incompetent to that level, you know. And I think this villain feels very Pilaf coded, where I'm like, how worried are we supposed to be about you? Because it doesn't feel like you have any. It doesn't feel like you pose any threat.
I think realistically he's not a villain. I think Dr. Aaron Sue is the closest thing to a villain this show's gonna have.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, the most interesting thing to me right now is what is gonna happen with Tumblr Han Solo boyfriend.
Glorio.
But even that isn't the setup for it. It's strange at best. It's weird that the Shen kind of knows what's going on. He's kind of seen it, but hasn't really said anything. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like anything because it hasn't gone anywhere yet. But we'll see. But we're halfway through the series, and I still don't really know why we're here.
I think why we're here is ultimate. I mean, obviously the meta reason of like
Money.
We want to recreate the feeling of Dragon Ball for an anniversary. Like,
Right.
Steve, where are you at with this? Halfway through.
I mean, I agree with both points. I'm still enjoying it, but I've always enjoyed Dragon Ball for the journey and not the destination. I don't really care where we end up as long as it's entertaining on the way there. So this meandering that they're doing, this episode to episode kind of storytelling, doesn't really bother me because it reminds me of all the parts of Dragon Ball that I truly enjoyed. Which was just the one-off stories, just the goofy little asides.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there, Steve. I think like I'm having fun because I think I'm now, you know, I know I'm only like halfway through Dragon Ball, but I obviously like it's enough to know like, okay, this is the vibe we're going for. So I'm like, oh, okay, I appreciate that you guys are trying to recreate this. We talked about this with the first episode. It's The Force Awakens. It's like, don't you want to do it again? It's like, yeah, that'll be fun. Don't know how sustainable it is, but also like, I don't think I would be surprised if after these 20 episodes, I don't know that we're doing another season.
Yeah.
I think this is it. So it's a fun
I'm
version.
perfectly fine.
It's been interesting.
I'm perfectly fine being this. It's own self-contained. This is a little side story. Just something to say we did. It doesn't have to bring greater meaning
anything
to Dragon Ball as a whole.
I do wonder if I'm also just incredibly biased because of, for the last handful of years, I've been reading the Dragon Ball Super manga month to month as it comes out. There's a lot in the manga that has not been adapted to anime that I think is a lot better and a lot more interesting. And I would have loved to, rather than Daima, I would have loved to see more of Super. And just out of curiosity, I was reading like Daima, I guess, takes, like how people are feeling about it, and it sounds like a lot of people that are fans of Super or the manga are kind of feeling the same way. I get it though, like if you really like Dragon Ball, you're probably gonna like Daima. If you really like Z and Super, Daima is, you know, the animation's beautiful, it's cool to see characters doing things, but I don't know, it's just not the vibe that I want out of it. But there's a little bit of something for everybody in each of the series, so
that is something we haven't talked about a lot. This does look really good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is gorgeous. And it's really good at creating like what you would remember Dragon Ball to look like.
Right.
Like, it's not trying to break new ground. It's really like we're going to do really high quality modern technique and 2D animation with a lot of obviously CGI 3D elements, but like they're really trying to make it feel like you probably remember Dragon Ball feeling. Even the color scheme, like the backgrounds, like it just feels very evocative of that original show, but with like really high, Force Awakens. It's like, what if we just had modern technology to make it feel like that, That
has been my favorite thing about it. It's just how it looks. And that was part of what I liked about that Broly movie. And even the superhero movie, which is very different. It's CGI, but this kind of blends those two. It has Some of the CGI in this movie looks like they may have lifted it from that same, I guess, the techniques they use in Superhero.
Mm-hmm.
I like the blend of the two because the full CGI in Superhero kind of, I wasn't a huge fan of it.
It worked better than I thought it would, but I agree. I do not like it. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't want this at all.
It was better than I expected it to be, but yeah, Superhero is, I like what they're doing here infinitely more.
I think that's all I think I had. Does anybody have anything else they want to share about our Dragon Ball Daima experience other than Brian would like to slit his wrists and Steve and I are having a pretty fun time?
I just want to know what we're doing here. And I hope, I'm curious.
They're going to get the 3 Dragon Balls.
I'm going to tell you right
I'm
now,
curious.
you're not going to be happy with the ending. Like,
probably
no
not.
matter what we're doing here, I guarantee you what we're doing here is something goofy. It's just an aside. It'll never have meaning more than it was a fun ride.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, are they? I don't know. Do they forget everything that happened and move along their merry way into Super, or
Maybe
what?
it's something where like Goku has to like the dragon. I'm just spitballing. Like the demon realm will fall apart because of what Mrs. Spitlick's doing, and Goku gets the balls, and he wishes, I wish that guy, the villain, never wanted to take over, and that means this never happened, and therefore the demon realm is safe. All of our friends we've made there are safe, and they're back to their adult bodies, and they're at the barbecue, and it never happened.
I mean, it could be something like that.
Yeah. Which, to be
We'll see.
fair, is actually I think is relatively satisfying in the idea of like, hey, if you put, I like these new characters we're meeting, and if you put them at stake and Goku makes a sacrifice, and like Goku's like learned and he's giving up his friendship with them to make sure they're okay, and he'll never know, and that's, you know, that's not the least. Hey, Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Like, that's not that dissatisfying.
No, that would be a solid ending.
What's nice about Goku is if he still remembers, he's an idiot. He's not gonna ever, it's totally reasonable he never brings
He'll
it
never
up
talk
again.
Yeah.
about it ever again.
Yeah, like it's totally reasonable.
Goku has sustained traumatic brain injury on numerous occasions. He can't retain this information.
Goku's just a nice Bill Murray. I mean, right?
Sure.
Cut to theme music.
I'm sorry, the only music I can hear for that is the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I don't have that one recorded. I can find that, but that's not how we usually end episodes, and I'm pretty sure we'll be demonetized on YouTube.
You've been listening to Cattywampus. You can follow us on Instagram at CattyWampusPod. Email us at cattywampuspodcast@gmail.com. Music by Tilly.